They're sabotaging this. Crunchyroll is actually sabotaging this anime. And like, the difference here is actually night and day. Like, look at this segment right here. I want to skip forward for you can see it. But literally, there is no movement on Crunchyroll's version. And you see all this movement going on in the Raw version. And before you think that this is rage bait and fake, I want to prove that this is actually real. So this is Crunchyroll's site. This is the episode of Trigun, Stargaze on their site right here. Episode 14, as you can see here. It aired literally on the 17th of this month. And if you go, you will actually see there is no movement. You can literally see, I have it unpaused. It is the exact same thing. Like here, I'll go back here for you can see. There is no movement. You come over here, I'll go back to the episode. You will see it's the exact same thing. There is no movement on the left, while the one on the Raw version, there is movement. And before you think that maybe the Raw is edited or something, maybe AI is used, this is actually the Raw version, which I pulled up. I have it pulled up here, and this is actually what the Japanese Raw version for Episode 2 actually has. Let me turn this down here. But you can actually see that there is movement. Yeah, it's not still frames or anything. Like here, I want to show you. See? This is episode 2, and to prove that this is episode 2, I'm going to skip forward here and show you. This is the beginning of episode 2 here, and all that. And here's the Crunchyroll version on their site, which is right after that. You can literally see it. This is Crunchyroll. So, Crunchyroll straight up, they screwed over the opening song, and it has literally no movement. They gave it the One Punch Man treatment. They give it the One Punch Man Season 3 treatment. Like, how the fuck does this happen? Now, I want to pull something up that's very fascinating about this entire situation. If you go to, the episodes of Trigun Stargaze, and you go to episode 13, or episode 1 of this season, you can see, if we skip ahead, I'm going to find it here, the opening plays, okay? And there actually is movement in the opening song for episode 1, or episode 13 in this case, for Trigun Stargaze. So, what the fuck happened between this release and whatever Crunchyroll spat out this week? It's just, is there no quality control? Like, what? Like, I don't even know how something like this happens, especially when the Japanese version is completely fine. The only theory I can really have right now about the situation besides sabotage, which I want to truly believe it's not sabotage, is that Crunchyroll got a version of this early, like maybe a version of the anime that wasn't finished, and then, the people over in Japan that finished the episode, they didn't give it to Crunchyroll, or Crunchyroll just didn't care to get it, and they just released it as is. Whatever the case may be, this entire situation is messed up, because it brings into question how many other anime, how many other episodes are getting done like this. Like, this is a series that, is obviously, it is a well-known franchise. Trigun is very beloved, but I do think that probably not a lot of people are tuning in for Trigun Stargaze, or Stampede, the continuation of Stampede. I don't know how many people really are. I'm personally not watching it, I'm going to be honest with you, but the point here is that I wonder how many episodes are going unnoticed that are being treated like this that people are just not aware of, because they're not cross-checking it with the raw released version of the episode, because it's not often you see people like go out of their way and they do a side-by-side comparison of the raw version with the Crunchyroll release that came into the West. And I want to point this out. This is the only legal way, from my knowledge, to watch this episode of Trigun. And Crunchyroll gave us an inferior version, and it looks at, like, look at this, like, there's no movement. Like, what is that glitchiness going there? Is this, like, their encoder causing this? Like, I really don't know what would cause this, but holy crap, Crunchyroll. Like, this is a new low. This is a new low for their company. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, you could chop this up as, like, maybe they didn't get the right version. I mean, that's a possibility. But at the end of the day, there's no way they took a look at this. If people are working on this episode and releasing this episode on the site, there's no way they took a look at this episode and were like, this is okay, if there was another version that was already finished. Because they definitely could have gotten it in time. There's no way they couldn't have gotten that version in time and placed it on their site. And, people might say, oh, they've already translated this episode. They could just attach the files of the translations to the fixed up version if there was another version of this episode, which technically there is, because the opening's complete. So, like I said, I don't know what happened here, but one of the big indicators here is that Crunchyroll was so cheap that they just didn't want to be bothered to potentially pay for another version. Or they were just too lazy to even ask. Oh my god. How many other anime is being done like this? I honestly, if this happened already once, this has happened many times. I wonder how many scenes like this are done as well. Like, imagine like a regular episode, okay? And you have movement in an episode, but in the Crunchyroll release version, there is no movement. It's just a still frame. Like, I know this isn't legit, but like, imagine if One Punch Man Season 3 looked as bad as it did because of something like this, like an error like this. Like, imagine, okay? I know it didn't release on Crunchyroll, One Punch Man didn't, but what I'm trying to say is, like, imagine if, like, a laziness issue with whatever's going on with the opening is what happened to One Punch Man, but jokes aside, okay, memes and jokes aside, this is kind of inexcusable, because this calls into question the quality control at Crunchyroll, and also whatever's going on behind the scenes with this series. Yeah, Crunchyroll, this needs to be explained. This is kind of inexcusable. It really is. Like, this is bad. Especially when there's evidence to prove that there is definitely something going on with this episode tampering-wise. I mean, they've already had issues with subtitles and stuff this season, with dubbing and all that. I've seen a lot of complaints about it. This, on top of that, is not good. Very bad look. I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this because this is crazy, man. Holy hell. What a way to start my morning. Anyways, you all be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.